I'm popping on just to say that I am not doing a video this week. There was some medical emergency stuff. Everything is fine now, but it's been things that I've been dealing with for like a month. And please, if you're gonna send messages or anything, please just send good vibes. I really don't want to answer a bunch of questions about it. I will share eventually. Hey guys, my name is Shayla. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, I talk about pregnancy and motherhood, which maybe seems a little weird because this video is about miscarriage. If you are not new here, I have something to share that I have not shared yet. This video has taken me so long to figure out what to say, how to say it, because normally my videos are very upbeat, lots of energy, because that's just how I am. But I wanted to make it because when I had my miscarriages, I watched these videos and they helped me to get through, to not only see other people who had dealt with it, but also to see that the video I was watching was years old and now they have children. It was kind of gave me a little bit of hope. I'm making this video 2 years after because when I first had my miscarriage, I wanted to talk about it. Seth is a very private person and he preferred that we didn't put it on social media, and he said until we have our baby. I just remember watching these videos and just like, because in the first trimester you haven't told anyone that you're pregnant. So if you're looking for support from anyone else, first you have to say, hey, I was pregnant and now I'm not. I'm getting emotional just saying, what I want to start with is, I am so sorry that this is happening to you, that you are watching this video, that you are going through this. It is so difficult and challenging and uniquely your experience. Above all, I want to tell you that however you're feeling is exactly as you should feel. Some people can have a miscarriage at 6 weeks and be devastated. Some people can have a miscarriage at 6 weeks and think it's okay. And like both of those are okay. I am going to share with you my story of my 2 miscarriages. The first one, we got pregnant. It was a surprise pregnancy. I got off birth control because I just wanted to see what my body did naturally. I started tracking basal body temperatures and my cycle was like, sometimes it was 20 days, sometimes it was 40 days. So it was really hard to track. And my mom was like, oh, you're going on the FAM method, you're gonna get pregnant. Hence I got pregnant. So I found out, and we were living in Minnesota. During the pregnancy, we'd be moving to Washington State for Seth's training and then moving back to Minnesota to give birth. We went to an 8-week appointment in Minnesota. We're about to learn the fate of our lives. It's nerve-wracking. This is the first time you hear the heartbeat and everyone's like, meh, meh, you have to hear the heartbeat. No, everything's fine. So we're about to go hear a heartbeat and figure out how many there are.
So we got the sonar today, or the ultrasound. I don't know, I'm just excited for that heartbeat. I'm nervous and excited. How do you feel?
Okay.
Those 4th of July sunglasses on.
He did the ultrasound and he told me that I was 7 weeks along, so that I had my dates wrong, which I didn't think I did because I was tracking all the ovulation. But that he couldn't find a heartbeat, but my uterus was tilted back, and then he goes, but you don't want to do a vaginal ultrasound, do you? No, I don't know. I don't know. No. And I think if we had done one, I would have known then that it was not a successful pregnancy. The next day, we start driving to Washington, and we take an entire road trip through Montana, over to Washington, fly down to California, pick up my van, drive it back up to Washington. On the road again.
On the road again.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, I know.
We are starting our drive up to Washington from San Francisco. We have our 11-week appointment at a midwife's office. We're going to our first appointment in Washington at the birthing center. They're not going to do an ultrasound here, but they can refer us out. So we're crossing our fingers for an ultrasound today. And she does the little, I don't know, it's like a Doppler. I don't know what it's called. On the top where they look for the heartbeat. She couldn't find a heartbeat. And she's like, that's weird. Can't find a heartbeat. Your uterus is the size of 11 weeks. Your hormones are elevated. I don't think she tested it, but we found that out later. But we don't do ultrasounds here, so I'm going to send you to the hospital to go get an ultrasound. I don't know why, but I was not concerned. I was like, wow, okay, yeah, sure. If you've ever been to an ultrasound when there's a potential problem, the tech can't tell you anything. They have to tell the doctor, and the doctor comes in with the information. Just sitting there trying to read their body language. So the doctor comes in and she goes, your uterus is empty. Empty? It's called a blighted ovum. Basically, sometime in the pregnancy, there was some sort of problem. It just is an unsuccessful pregnancy. It kind of like self-terminates, but your body doesn't realize it. So it keeps acting like it's pregnant. This was the biggest mind-body disconnect I've ever experienced in my life. My mind was like, you're not pregnant. My body was like, yes, I am. I'm growing a baby. I was mad at my body because hippie. My body is made to give birth. My body is made to get pregnant and have a baby. And like, you're telling me that I wasn't successful? And then like every time I have to wake up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, I was like, no, you don't. You don't have a baby inside of you. When I had cravings, I was like, this is not real. And then I started to question, like, was I just acting like I was pregnant? But no, the hormones, whatever. When she tells me this, I don't know, I have this weird thing where I try and make like doctors, like I try and make them feel better. When I get my blood drawn, I'm always like, you did a great job. When the doctor told me that, I was like, okay, yeah, I can make you feel bad about telling me this terrible information. We went into the car and I was like, it's okay. It's fine. Like, we never even saw a heartbeat. There's not even a baby. I think it's fine. Clearly just pushing feelings down. My doctor says you've got 3 options. You can get a DNC, which will just clean out everything and you can start over. You can take a pill, which will start the process of like expelling all the tissue, or you can just wait till your body figures it out and miscarry naturally. I like to do things naturally. I chose that one. The next day we went and got acupuncture to try and like get the miscarriage going. Nothing happened. I went and got a massage and she did cupping in all the places you're not supposed to do when you're pregnant. I was scared to miscarry because I didn't know what to expect. Is it gonna hurt? Is it gonna last a long time? Am I gonna bleed a lot? Like what's it gonna be like? After talking to a few people, just expect to be on the toilet for a really long time. Expect there to be a lot of blood and expect it to be painful. Okay, so I started spotting on Friday, and then on Sunday I started having really bad cramps. I would say that this is like really bad period cramps combined with like early stages of labor with like the little contractions. Because what would happen is your body would just contract and then you would pass a clot. When I started having the really bad cramps, I started walking up and down the stairs. I don't know why I did that, but I just felt like it was gonna help me, like labor, it was just gonna help things move along. Then I got to a point where my cramps were so bad that I needed to lay down. So I set up like a space in the bathroom. I put towels on the floor so I could lay on the floor next to the toilet. I had a trash can, I had pads, I had a barf bucket in case I got sick. I had essential oils. Seth would come in and like put a cold washcloth on my forehead, put oils in the diffuser, and something that I was doing during my pregnancy was listening to a Headspace app, a meditation app. I turned on the pain management package. It helped a lot. Like I almost fell asleep. It basically tells you, instead of thinking like, ow, this hurts, is it hot or cold? Is it a sharp pain? Is it a dull pain? Where is it? Describe it instead of just being like, it hurts. And then just try and like relax and just go limp. So when a contraction would come on, you would just try and be like, just like let it happen and let it pass. And then I was basically on and off the toilet for like 3 or 4 hours, and then it was midnight and I was thankfully able to go to sleep. I remember just almost every night, I just cried. I just cried myself to sleep. I needed that week and a half to be mad at my body, for my body to understand what was going on, and then to be ready. Let's get this on and move forward. Gave me a little bit of processing time. And so then the next thing they worry about is an infection. If you have pain in your abdomen, foul smell, a fever. Well, I started to get a foul smell, which is gross to even say, but like, trust yourself. Call the midwife and she's like, smell is subjective. If you're not having any of the other pains, we'll let it go. Then I got the chills one night, and I didn't know that the chills and a fever were like the same thing. Well, then the next day I had a fever of like 100 degrees. Went into the ER and they're like, your uterus is septic. We need to do an emergency DNC. When's the last time you ate? I was like, I just had lentil soup on the way here. They're like, next time you come to the hospital ER, do not eat. Because if we need to do a surgery, you can't have anything inside. So you'll have your surgery tomorrow. I was like, okay. And the next morning they woke me up and I went in for my emergency DNC. My mom flew out like the next day. She was there immediately. I actually made a video on my YouTube about going to the hospital as an adult, but I didn't talk about the miscarriage at all. I just talked about very generic things that happened and how I used humor to get through it all. My mom's like, I need to get there. I need to come there. I need to see you. Mom. Now all of a sudden my mom's here and she's like, Shayla, the only car that they have available is the convertible Mustang. If you want to watch that video, I'll link it. And then I was in the hospital for a couple days while they like tracked the infection and made sure that everything was kind of like taken care of. Then I got to leave the hospital and I was taking this antibiotic and my body just broke out in a rash. It's like all over my back, on my forehead. It's going down the side of my face. It's from the medication that I'm on. All of this happened because of this miscarriage, and it was a lot. In the meantime, I'm still trying to make YouTube videos and act like everything's super hunky-dory. It was just kind of an eye-opening experience. So afterwards, I was depressed. And I've never been depressed in my life. I'm more of like an anxious person than I am of like a depressive person. I have a new respect for depression because holy crap. I was like, just get up, just keep moving, do things. So that I like would just sit at the table and just like sit there and just stare off into space and like did not want to do anything. Luckily Seth got me out of the house and we like went on little adventures in Washington, but I was just sad while we were doing them. It was so bad. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It was just a dark time. And I remember going to one of my appointments to get checked up and I just told the doctor, like, I'm feeling so sad. And she's like, you're grieving. That's what this is. And she gave me a hug and I think I held on a little bit too long. But it was hard. Seth was going to training every day. I was by myself and I didn't have my family around and I was just so sad. Again, the meditation app has a grieving section. So then I started doing that and I would just cry through my meditations and like every night I would just bawl. And one thing that someone told me is that everyone in history who has ever experienced a miscarriage is holding you through this. And I was just like, wow. Because anybody who's experienced it knows how painful it is. And just to know that, like, I don't know, that they send that energy around me or whatever. So I had my DNC, September 10th. We were so excited to have a baby that we were like, let's just do it. Let's just try. So like 3 months later, we got a positive test. And it was like so early. And then a week later, I had a miscarriage. I had my period. I feel like our grandmas must have had these miscarriages as well, but they just felt like a late period because we have such early testing right now. It's like it's such a blessing and a curse. There's no good words. So I'm going to say what made me feel better. And if you're like, F you, Shayla, totally fine. For me, I'm not a super religious person, but I am somebody that believes that like everything happens for a reason. So for me, I was like, okay, everything happens for a reason. I don't know now, but I eventually, hopefully someday will understand why this happened to me and why this happened now. I also thought it's incredible that your body and that these cells know when it's not going to be a successful pregnancy. I felt that I'm glad that my body knew that the pregnancy would not be successful and that I didn't have to make a decision later on. The second miscarriage did not hit me as hard as the first miscarriage. Oh, it's just so difficult. But I just want to close this video with like, honor how you feel. However you feel is right. Because if you're at 6 weeks and you're already you're looking at the due date, you're thinking of names, you're going to Target and imagining your squishy little baby in these outfits, like those things are real. You have already thought about this human walking with you for the rest of your life. And then it changes. And so that is traumatic. Don't question it. Don't be like me and be like, well, this and this and this, so I really shouldn't even be sad. Other people have it worse than you. Yes, other people have it worse than you. Other people have it easier than you. Doesn't matter. That doesn't matter as far as how you're feeling. I'm sending you all of the love. Thank you for watching. I have a goal of hitting 100,000 subscribers, so if you like this video or if you like any of my videos and you want to see more, please subscribe. And I will see you guys all next time.